Hi, it's Big V. We're talking teams today. And guess what? How about we talk about virtual teams? People ask all the time, hey, should I have an office or can we do a virtual team or what do I have team in different locations? The answer is I answer it different today than I did before COVID. When COVID hit and everybody went home, we had to create new ways of doing business. We had to learn how to do virtual huddles and virtual open houses and virtual prospecting and virtual listing appointments. Everything we did became virtual. We actually did virtual seminars and webinars. What I learned was in an environment where we used to say you had to be in person, we found ways to be successful. As a result of that, many teams, many offices, and many companies have not gone back to work. There's literally millions of square feet available for sublease all over the country because companies have found that they can allow their people to work in a different environment and still be productive. Other companies have also found that it's more difficult to work in a virtual environment and they're having all their people come back. So if you ask me what my preference is, I like to be with my people. I like to be shoulder to shoulder. I like to high five when they have a win. I like to be there when they're having challenges. I want to listen to their prospecting so that I can give them feedback and on the spot guidance to help them be more successful. So for me, I prefer to be face to face. Does that mean you have to? The answer is no. Some environments, some cultures, some teams don't even have the option of being in person, so they have to be virtual. If you choose to be in a virtual environment, let me share with you some of the things that will help you create the most effective environment and successful environment in a virtual real estate team. The first thing we do is we have to establish clear communication guidelines. One of the reasons I like to be in the office and we do a morning huddle every day because it forces my agents to get up, get dressed for success, and come into the office looking like they're ready to meet with clients. When people work from home, we've often found that what they do is they dress for success from the waist up and they have shorts and flip-flops on the bottom and they're not ready to actually engage with a client. And so one of the clear communication guidelines is that you have to be on full video, you have to be showered, and you have to be ready to meet with clients when you show up. Establishing clear communication guidelines, which tools are we going to use, how we're going to communicate. Tools, are you going to be using Zoom? Will you be using Slack? Are you using text messaging? Are you using WhatsApp? It doesn't matter to me the tools or resources you use. What matters is that you establish as a team how we're going to communicate, and everybody in the team functions and communicates in that same environment. Number two is foster a culture of trust and communication. So how do you do that? The way that we foster a culture of trust and communication is we put strategy and consistency to our meetings and our interaction. When you know that someone's going to do their work and you inspect what you expect and you return a report on a regularly scheduled basis, what happens is trust begins to grow. And as trust begins to grow, then you can meet less often with your team leaders and your team members. So establish transparent and honest communication. Make sure that you are open to diverse perspectives from your team members on what's working and what's not working. And as a leader, it's important that you have the ability to quickly pivot. Third, use technology wisely. Invest in the right tools, the right training, and the right trade secrets so that your agents are able to function in that virtual environment. Some of those tools might include the right CRM that's in the cloud. It might include the right video software. It might include the right chat software, the right texting software. You want to make sure that your communications are secure and they're private and that they're also easy to use. So make the investment in the right technology. Number four is regular virtual meetings. When I say we do a daily huddle, people ask all the time, well, how often should you do it? I always answer, it's in the title, daily. When I say do a daily huddle, it means daily. It doesn't mean 3 days a week, 4 days a week. It means every single day we huddle and we have consistency in our meetings. It's your job as a leader to set the standard of how we're going to meet and make sure you show up for the meetings. You have to have consistency in your meetings. Is it okay to let other people lead? The answer is yes, once you've trained and developed them, but make sure you have consistency in your meetings. Number five, clearly define goals and clearly define roles. If everybody knows what their job is, they all understand their role on the team and what is expected in their role, they're going to perform at a different level. Where there's confusion, there's lack of production. When people are confused about what they're supposed to do or how they're supposed to do it or what's expected of them, the natural position they'll take is uncertainty creates inaction. And so if there's not certainty, there's a lot of inaction on your team. So clearly defining roles and clearly defining responsibilities will make a huge difference in everybody's outcome on your team in a virtual environment. Number six is to create social interactions. People need human interaction. Being everything virtual and never getting to connect with each other and see each other face to face creates disconnection in the relationships on your team. So creating morning coffee or a weekly get together, or an in-office meeting once a week, or events where we go bowling, things where we have social interaction and we get to high five each other and shake hands or give each other a hug. Those social interactions are part of the glue that will hold your team together, but you have to make a decision to create regularly scheduled live social in-person interactions, and make sure you're doing that with your virtual team. Number 7 is provide flexibility and work-life balance. A lot of reasons people join teams is because they're overwhelmed with the amount of work there is to be in real estate and how much time they spend away from the things that matter more in their lives. If you really want to have a productive virtual team, create an environment that understands why people are on the team in the first place and allows them to have flexibility. If you have people that want to be home because they need to be there when their kids get out of school, then create an environment, allow them to do that. If they need to be unavailable in the morning because they've got to do some things with whatever is important in their life early in the morning, create an environment, allow them to do that. It's okay to create and be flexible in a virtual environment, as long as during the time that they've committed to work, that they do the things they've committed to do. So make sure you understand why people are on the team, why virtual is important to them, and the flexibility that they require to be successful. You can work around people's schedules and lives if you're intentional about it and you set minimum levels of acceptable performance. Number 8 is provide skills development. Programs like BAM, AMP, SLAM, and RAMP, run on 10-week programs, will help all of your people collaborate and be on the same page of how we're working in real estate. If you're not using consistent training and you're not doing things besides just your daily huddles, your team starts to wander and do things on their own. One of the worst things that can happen on a team that runs virtually is the individual agents start feeling disconnected from the other team members and disconnected from leadership. And where there's disconnection, there is change. And when people they don't feel like they belong to something bigger than themselves, it makes it much easier for them to leave and to move. If you want to reduce turnover, then increase the interactions that you have with your virtual team members. Number 9, and I don't know why this is a brilliant one, but number 9 is you have to recognize the achievement, give awards. And I'm not just talking about the awards that happen at the end of the year when people get awards for what they made or their production. You have to recognize activities and give awards for people doing the right thing. I've Got Your Back award is a great one when someone picks up the slack for somebody else who is off on vacation or wasn't able to meet with a client. Great awards for celebrating someone who did something for another team member. How about an award for the most dials, the most conversations, or the most appointments set, or the most appointments met? We can do awards for the best open houses, or the most people that came in, or the most doors knocks. Create incentives, create rewards, and recognize people for doing the right things, and you'll watch the behavior of the others continue to elevate. In a virtual environment, it's very difficult and very important to promote inclusivity. And what I mean by that is people need to feel like they're being heard. We need to include their opinions, their ideas, their thoughts, the things that are working, and share with each other. When you open up a virtual meeting and you have an environment that incorporates and encourages inclusivity and interaction with your team members, you'll find that the team members feel more connected and they stay more productive as part of being heard and being included in big decisions that are being made by the team. This is last but not least is continually improve processes. The Kaizen principle that was invented right after World War II was a simple concept. Kaizen means to make small incremental improvements in every area of your life every day. As you're working in a virtual team, in a virtual environment, ask yourself, what small incremental improvement can I make today that will make an improvement in the lives of the people that I serve? Our job as leaders is to make a difference in the lives of the people that we serve. You can do it in person and you can do it virtually. If you're going to choose to have a virtual team or a virtual office, be intentional about how you set up your rules and regulations and your best practices. Make sure that your agents buy into the concepts and the meetings and the consistency of how you're going to do things. Make sure they have clearly defined roles and responsibility, and you'll be on your way to a successful virtual team. If you like a copy of some of the most impactful tech tools we use in our virtual and in-office teams, click on the link below. We'll give you a copy of it. Like, technology matters. Using the right tech in a virtual environment matters even more. I wish you the greatest success as you continue your virtual or in-person teams.